Alright, so in the last video we got done working on our first blog post over here, so we're probably going to go in and just delete that. So I'm going to go into all post here and click on trash and just get rid of that one for right now. Now let's say, oh, you know what, I really had some important information in there I wanted to keep. It's not really gone. So if you look up here at the top, you'll see that there's all and there's trash. So I could still always recover something from the trash unless I hit delete permanently. So just a little something to keep in the back of your mind there. One other thing, we'll just kind of go down the row here of other areas, is the categories for the posts. Now I went ahead and created a couple of categories because by default it just comes with uncategorized, but you can go in and add other categories, or you can do it from the post area, which we took a look at. So just know that you can always go in here. We can always edit these. Maybe there's one you created in a post, but maybe you spelled it wrong. You can always come back here and say edit, change the spelling of the word business or whatever it was that you had, and just say update, and that's where all that stuff is at. So there's also tags as well. We talked a little bit about that. You could have pre-made tags, maybe common ones that you're going to use over and over. Most people really don't create those ahead of time. Just know that there is an area very similar to categories where we could go in and either add some, or maybe if we spelled something wrong, we could go in and edit it in here. So just know that those two areas are there for you. Now we also within the post, we added a new image. I'm going to delete that one right there because that one didn't upload right, neither did that one. So we can delete that. So within the media area here, this is what stores everything that you've uploaded to the website. Again, this could be an image, this could be a PDF, this could be a video, an audio file, whatever, any kind of media file you can upload to here. What's nice is, depending on the name that you name it, you can also search for it in here. So maybe you had your logo or something that you were looking for. You just type that word in there and it'll try to pull up whatever it can find that's very similar to that name. Now if I click on the image itself, there's some different things that we can do. With this, we can see, well, you know what, it shows right where it was uploaded to. It was uploaded to that Hello World post that we created. We can view the attachment page and we can edit the details on it, different things like that. We can actually edit the image itself. Now it's a little bit limited. It's not the most advanced image editing software. And the big thing I don't like about it is that it will kind of save over the original photo. So if you edit this, it's not going to also make a duplicate of it and show you the edited version. It's just going to edit this one photo. So we can always rotate it, do different things like that with it. We can change the dimensions of it, so we can kind of scale it down, we can crop it, and that's kind of it right there. It's not like Instagram where you can really, tweak out the colors and different things like that. It just gives you some basic image editing functions in here, which is nice. But again, I prefer to do that somewhere else where I have complete control over exactly how the image is being displayed. All right, so the next area we're going to take a look at is pages. Now it works a lot like post up here, where I can mouse over pages and I can create all pages or create a new one. Just by clicking on pages itself, I go to all pages. And from within here, there are two pages, just like the post, where WordPress has created them automatically for me. I can go and delete them if I want to, or I can just kind of start working from them. So I'll click on sample page. And again, if I mouse over it, this looks just like the post where it has the edit, the quick view, and the trash and the view. But I'm just going to click on the title for right now. And the area over here looks just like it did in the post. It works exactly the same way as the post, and it's very, very similar. On the the right-hand side over here, we can have it published on a certain date. We can have it password protected. We can set it to draft mode. Same stuff we could in the post. Now, there is some stuff over here we don't see that it was in posts. But for the most part, it's really kind of all the same. It's, the posts and pages are very, very similar. They're just set up a little bit differently in the front end of the website. So we've got our pages in here. Let's go ahead and create a couple new pages because we're going to want to get rid of sample pages. That's another place that spammers kind of tend to go after because it's a predefined page. Every WordPress site has it. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. Let's create one called Home. We'll create this as our home page here. And I'll hit Publish to publish it. And I'll add another new one. We'll call this just one about. And we'll say publish. And we'll create one more, and we'll call it contact. And we'll hit publish. Okay, so we've got 3 pages so far. In fact, let's go ahead and just add a little bit of copy. And let's do one other thing. We'll give it a header tag. This just kind of gives it a different predefined font size. So header 2 is a little bit smaller than a header 1. Header 3 is smaller than the 2. And I'll hit publish there. All right, so let's say I want to go back and edit those other 2 pages that I just created. So I'll come back to all pages. And I'll go to home. And I'll say, this is the home page. And I give that one, let's say give that one a header 1 tag, just so we can see the difference. And I'll go back to all pages again, and I'll do the same thing for about, and I'll say, this is the about page. And I give that one a header 3 tag. Now, depending on the theme and the styles that are applied to it, those header tags are going to look a little bit different from theme to theme, but that's not a big deal. Just having that in there is important enough. And you know what? That's good for right now. So let's do this. Let's actually go take a look at the front end of our website, and you can do this a couple different ways. You can either click on the URL that it gives you right up here for that page. That's going to take you specifically to the page that we just created here. We can also, up here, you'll see the title, the name of your website. You can click on that. There's also a view page up here, which is the same as clicking on this link down here. So for this case, I'm going to go ahead and just click on this. And in fact, because I'm on a Mac, I'm going to click on Command and click it. If you're on a PC, I believe it's Control click, and it'll open up a new tab, so we're not losing our place right here. So I'll click on that, and you see I got a new tab. And this is the default theme that comes with the current version of WordPress. As I come down here, you can see that there's nothing on the home page right now. So we need to set this, because in our settings we had it set to the blog post being what is the home page. So let's go ahead and come back, and we'll go to our settings here, and we'll say reading. And instead of the home page displays our latest post, we'll say it displays a static page, which is going to be, and we can select which is the home page, home. And then we can say, let's just say sample page is our blog page. It doesn't really matter. It just, whatever the link is. And we'll hit save. I'm going to come back up to the other tab, which is, this is just the home page of online marketing concepts. And I'm going to refresh it. And now you'll see that this is now displaying the home page. This is right there. This is the home page. And if I were to upload a featured image, I believe that's what goes up here with this theme. Again, every theme's a little bit different here. And then this is all the information that goes on the page itself. So that's creating pages and the basics of kind of editing the images and everything else. The next couple of videos, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the themes, and we're going to take a look and see some different options with that, what we can do. Very simple, very cool stuff, so stay with me. Alright, so as we saw in the last video there, we created the home page and we made that our static page. But because this is a blog, let's go ahead and switch that back to our home page being the latest post. You can do whatever you want with your blog, whatever makes the most sense for you. Just for the demonstration purposes here, we're going to say that this is the latest post. And what I want to do, so I can actually see some things happening here, I'm going to go over to my posts. I'm going to create a couple of posts. And let's go ahead and just see what I've got created so far. All right, so I deleted the one, so there's nothing here right now. So let's go ahead and just create 3 posts. I'm going to call this one post 1, doesn't really matter. And in a new tab, I'm going to go to a website just so I can grab some dummy copy. I like to go to Ipsum. It's Lorem Ipsum. And we'll just copy a paragraph out of here. Again, just kind of so we can see what it's going to look like. And we'll paste that into the body here. We can set a feature image if we want. I'll go ahead and grab this current one right here. And we can choose a category. Let's say this one falls into the business category. And I'll hit publish. Now let's create a new one. Call this one post 2. Now you want to give this an actual good blog name. This is just for demonstration purposes right now. Let's say this one goes under sports, and let's go ahead and just use that same image that we have right now. And I'll hit publish. And if I go back to the home page of the website and I hit refresh, we can see that this is just our latest blog post. So I posted them in the most recent blog post first, which was 2, which I just got done publishing. A couple seconds before that, I had post 1. You can see our featured image, and we can see some of our copy. Now again, each theme is going to lay this out a little bit differently, but you can see where this is starting to go. All right. Now that we've got a couple posts in there, let's go ahead and switch out a theme. And we can, because I've got those 2 posts in there and a couple of pages, we can start to see what the theme's going to look like. Now if I go to Appearance and under Themes here, There are 3 by default, at least with this version of WordPress. Every year, WordPress seems to come out with a new theme that they build into their WordPress version. So you can see 2015, 2016, 2017. Even though it's the end of 2018, there still isn't a 2018 version yet. I think they're waiting until they come out with a new version of WordPress, but regardless, you've got 3 that you can start from that are very basic, but very good as far as starting points. If you're a developer and you want to kind of just re-emulate their theme and build off of it, they're great for that. But there's a ton of free ones that are already, well designed within the WordPress database here. So we're in Appearance, we're in Themes, we can say Add New. Now you can purchase your own theme. There's places that you can go to get them, like Elegant Themes and Theme Forest and different places like that. You could then purchase it, download it, and then upload that theme, or you can just pick one of these. Now these are free, and there's usually like a little link back to the original developer in here or something like that. A lot of them give you the option to then upgrade to a paid version if you wanted to. All different options. But these are the free ones that are in the database, and you can see there's just a ton of cool stuff in here. These are just the first couple. These are the most featured ones. Here are the most popular ones, so we can start to sort by different things. People seem to like some of these. These look like more sales, online shopping type of blogs. Some of these are actual blogs. Some are just different websites. Here's like a news blog right here. Another news blog. I want to keep mine kind of simple. Here's actually an old WordPress one, 2011. Wow. So, I don't know. Let's see. I saw one over here that I kind of liked a second ago. Oh, you know what? It was in the past one. Let's look at some of these other options up here too. There's also favorites. Well, I haven't saved any favorites yet. There are latest. That's kind of cool. The red and the green. That's fun. This one looks like kind of a Pinteresty style. That's kind of cool. But let's say I had something very specific in mind that I was looking for here. So I can click on Feature Filter, and I can say I want the blog to be an actual blog, or maybe an entertainment blog. I can choose a couple options here. I want to be able to have sticky posts and background color, or excuse me, custom background. And I want to have the layout be in a 2 or 3 column format. So this is going to find all the blogs that have those criteria built into them, and I can apply that filter, and it looks like there's 6 options. No, looks like I had 6 features. So here's all the ones that will meet that criteria. So, oh, this one's kind of cool. All right, so I'm going to say install, or I can just preview it. Now preview it, it's going to show you kind of an option of like what it could look like. Sometimes these are a little bit distorted, so it's not always the best option, but it gives you kind of a basic overview of what the blog could look like. So I'm going to say, you know what, I do like that. I'm going to install it, and then I'm going to activate it. So installing it just brings it into your WordPress website, into this area right here. Activating it makes it that featured blog that you're using. So now if I come back to the homepage of my website, here's the original. If I just hit refresh, I've got a whole new website going on here. And this is very cool. It's actually a very good looking blog. I really like the way this lays out. Within each of these themes, there's so many differences that I can't cover everything, but we're going to take a look at what this blog offers and talk about some of the other things that other blogs offer here in the next video. Alright, so in the last video we went ahead and installed a new theme into our website here. I went and grabbed this one, but again, you could always go and add new, purchase something, upload it, and it'll be very similar to what we're doing here. The other option is to choose one of the free ones, do the same thing as we do here. This was the one that I chose. You can see because this is a free one, they've got this like powered by WordPress and Donovan down here. For the most part, those are usually kind of fixed into there until you like either purchase it or basically just a way to give back and say, if you're going to use this for free, at least give me a link back to the original developer. So it's kind of only fair. So, but let's go and take a look at what the options are for stylizing this blog a little bit more. All right, so I'm in the back end of my website. I'm under Appearance and then Themes. And again, this is the part that's going to be a little bit different. If you purchase a theme, a lot of times there may be like a new little block over here, a new link on the left-hand side with the name of that theme that's going to give like a ton of custom controls over it. That's what you get when you get a custom theme. They are very detailed. You can just detail it out to the very smallest level of fonts, font sizes, where things appear, things like that. But these are a little bit more basic, these free ones, but they're totally fine for what you do most of the time. But anyway, Under appearance here, you can see that there is a customize option. So let's click on that. 9 times out of 10, this is where you're going to go to customize your theme. And again, each theme is going to be a little bit different on what it lets you do. So let's go ahead and just kind of jump into some of these basic options here. So let's say site identity. Looks like I can upload a logo if I wanted to instead of the text going on up here. I could then also change some of the stuff that was down in our settings that we already looked at. So that's not a big deal. I'll leave that the way it is. Header image, looks like I could add a photo. So I'll just see what this one looks like. So I can select that. Sure. And what's nice is you got this whole live preview area here. This is not live on your website. This is just showing what's going to happen as you add something into here. So I can see, okay, this is what it's calling the header. I don't like that. Maybe I wouldn't want to find a different photo that fit better in there if I wanted to do something, but I don't, so I'm not too worried about the header. You can see as soon as I delete that, it goes away. I got a background here. I can change my background color. So maybe I really like this red here. I can make that red, or I can start to tweak it out. All right, cool, whatever. I'll choose that for right now. And again, if I go back to my website, this is the live website, and I hit refresh, nothing's going on. This is all just previewing right now with just the template stuff I have tweaked out in the back end here. I can also edit some stuff that's really in our settings area, so I'm not going to worry too much about like menus and widgets and things like that. We can talk about menus here in a minute, but homepage settings, again, same stuff that we saw in our settings area. It just gives you like a one-stop shop area where you can edit all these things in one place. Now, if I was a little bit of a developer or kind of had some basic things that I wanted to be able to change, I could go into this custom CSS area and I could start to fine-tune these things, maybe change the font size or the font itself or little colors, things like that that maybe I'm not seeing in the theme itself to be able to customize. But don't worry about that. If you're not a developer, you don't know CSS, don't even worry about this part. Just know that it's there if you do. And I do see there's one last place. It says theme options. So let's take a look in there. So we've got layout settings. Right now this is set to a wide layout, which means it's going to stretch the full width of my browser, but it's probably going to offer a box layout, which is going to kind of center everything. So maybe I could throw like a background photo back there if I wanted to. It's also going to say the sidebar here, this little widget area on the right, where's the default sidebar position, left or right? Kind of like it over here on the right, so I'll keep it there. Centered layout also just kind of does the same thing as box, but pushes it to the top. But I'm going to keep wide layout for now. Blog settings, again, I can kind of customize how the blogs are going to look. Post settings, the actual post itself, what's being displayed here. Display date, I can take that off right there. You can see that disappeared as soon as I did that, or you can take off the author and leave the date. Totally tweak this one out however you want to. And some more features. Looks like you can get the Pro version where you can purchase that and you can get additional things. Some do come with plugins that it wants you to install. Some are mandatory, some are recommended, so maybe take a look at that. Each theme is going to be a little bit different, but know that there are some really cool things you can do within each of the themes. You're just going to have to take a look at each one because each one's going to work a little bit differently. Alright, so one more thing under the appearance that I want to take a look at is the menu. It's very important because when you create pages on your website, they don't just naturally appear on the website itself on the front end. You have to set up a menu and a navigation area and tell it where that's going to go and like what goes in it. Some themes will pull in all pages by default. You really don't want that though. Maybe you've got like several versions of a page or different things like that. You don't want all that kind of stuff. You really want to have full control over it. So within appearance, under menus here, you'll see that by default there is just no menu created. So I'm going to create one. I usually like to call it main menu. Now you can call it whatever you want. That's really not displayed anywhere other than within the back end here. Where it does become important is if you start to have other menus. Maybe you have a footer menu, maybe you have a sidebar menu, maybe you have a blog menu, maybe you have a mobile version of a menu. Different things like that. You're going to want to know what the name is so you know where to put it properly. But for the most part, you can just call this one main menu and be fine with it. We're going to say create menu. Now we load that menu up with whatever pages we want in it. So here's all my pages right now. So you can see under pages at the top, all the pages that make up my website are right here. And I can choose all of them or just some of them. Maybe I don't want all of them. Maybe I don't want sample page because that really wasn't a page that I created. So I'll say add these to the menu. And the top one is going to be the menu item that's on the far left. So these are actually kind of in reverse order. So all I have to do is just click and drag, and I can move these guys around. Now, if I wanted the home page to have a drop down, I could say about, just pull it over to the right a little bit, and you can see this changes to sub item. That makes it a drop down item from the main menu. But we're going to keep that the way that is right now. If I wanted to, I can also pull my posts into the menu. Now, we really don't want to do that here. There's better ways to do that. You can create a custom link. So maybe you wanted to link out to another website or your Facebook page or something like that. You could put the full URL and the title of it in here. So I'm going to put just a placeholder right there, and I'll say, all right, so now I can create a whole new page, or a link basically. You can see that one's called custom link though, as opposed to a page right there. So I can have that go out. Now I can also pull in some of those categories that I was using in my blog post. So if I wanted to, again, maybe the majority of my website is all about blogging, and all the navigation should be all the different categories so people can find what they're looking for. This would be a good place to put those categories into, and I can add them the same way I have everything else. But for right now, this is cool. I'm going to say save. Now this is half the battle. So we've created the menu, we've added the pages to it. Now we have to say where that's going to go. And that's where it's going to change from template to template. You can see up here now I've got manage locations. Some themes are going to have 1 or 2 areas to put a navigation area. Some are going to have 4 and 5. So this one has the main navigation, which is going to be right here. And I'll say which menu? I'll say the main menu. Social icons, I didn't create any for that right now, so I'm going to leave that one blank. But again, there could be a predefined footer navigation area or a mobile option, different things like that that I could have a different menu for that I want to put into there. So I'll say save changes. And I'll come back to my website and I'll hit refresh. And you can see on the left-hand side now I've got home, about, contact, and Facebook. I could just as easily come back to my menu and say, you know what, I don't want Facebook in there. Let's go ahead and remove that. And I'm going to save that. And I'll come back and refresh this guy up here. And Facebook went away. So just like that, I was able to create all these pages, create the navigation area, and kind of tweak out a very nice looking theme. Next thing I want to do is talk about some of the plugins that we're going to want to use for our website, and then we're going to get deeper into blogging.